Hello, good morning, everybody. This is Virtual Club for Sheffield. Obviously, we start locally because I am the host in Sheffield, our first official launch of our network meeting club. So informal, friendly, it's a chance for us to all introduce ourselves as entrepreneurs and businesses, for us to introduce about what we do, our businesses, share links, and take it from there, and we've got a chance to share opportunities with each other. Okay, so I'll start this morning about myself. My name is Clare. I'm from Sheffield. I'm a mom. I've raised 3 sons. I'm fortunate now that I look at the lifestyle balance of myself. So yes, I run my own agency here in Sheffield in digital services, and obviously virtual call answering, chat answering, and obviously hosting clubs like this and helping other people to facilitate their own club, classes or events. So if you do want to speak to me now or in the future, you can send me a message online. You can subscribe to our club, come and join us. And, it's open to people in England and internationally that may want to share some of their experience, but they may have their own things that they want to talk about, and that's what I'm interested in me. I'm a business consultant. I've got 25 years experience in retail and digital, websites, social media, lead generation, and obviously in administration. So that's me. Thank you.
Thank you, Claire. Shall I go next?
Please.
Hi, thank you. So my name is Shammy Rahim. I'm based up in Norwich. So I've been in IT for the last 20 years. What we do is we nurture, grow, and empower virtual agencies who can offer call answering, chat answering, and digital services to SMEs. So by doing that, I think there's a lot of opportunity there. We can all look in and become the face of an SME, back offices of an SME, and we also at the same time get a lifestyle that we all looking forward for. So that's me, Shammy Rahim from Norwich. Thank you very much.
Hello, my name is Frederick Wakuliaka. I'm based in Brentwood, Essex. I also I'm not as older in this club as Claire and Shammy, but I'm a regular, and I've been with them almost daily since I started just on Friday last week. My interest in this club is to also partake and offer what I can, which is in the cybersecurity sphere, and I have an inkling that there is going to be a lot of people who are going to need cybersecurity guidance and help. So, in addition to what I can also benefit from other people who are going to bring what specialties they have to the club. So there is a wealth of experience and opportunities with what each of us can offer. Thank you.
Thank you. And yourself, Ornella. Good morning.
Hello, my name is Ornella. I'm based in Ashford, Surrey. I joined as an affiliate a couple months ago. I've been coming every day on the videos with Claire and Shammy and everyone else. I've been learning a lot, and this is an opportunity for everyone to learn about the business, how to create their own business, and many, many more things. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So this morning's meeting, obviously, Frederick is going to take the dance floor this morning as our guest speaker. So Frederick,
I was dragged onto the dance floor.
Go with the flow. I will mute myself. You go for it, okay, and talk about your subject in cybersecurity, and we'll be all ears, okay?
Okay, my issues, my organization is issues of the day, and any issue regarding cybersecurity is an issue which will not only be today but tomorrow. So even some of the issues that I'm going to talk about were issues yesterday, but they are still very, very big issues today. Because, like, there's a particular case I'm going to talk of a bank. It started in 2009, but up to now, it's not yet been resolved. It's to do with data privacy. So when I come to that, it is very interesting. You see how a data privacy violation, even the banks are scared of bringing closure to this particular case. They have kind of absconded because they don't want to be liable to suits. That was before GPDR came into place. So let me first start with in England we have the National Health Service. This is everyone is affected by NHS. Whenever you you have any health issue, the NHS is your is your resort of only resort of choice you have, because it still is for the every one of us day to day. Not maybe some people have private healthcare, but not we all are generally rely on the NHS. Now, in medical field has also been affected by cyber related breaches or bad actors. There was an issue on May 12th. There was a ransomware which was called WannaCry. It began affecting dozens of NHS facilities. Eventually, more than 60 NHS trusts were hit. Many facilities could not access patient records, which led to delays of non-urgent surgeries. So they had to cancel even patient appointments. Some hospitals had to divert ambulances to other facilities. So this this was in 2017. This attack was widespread by this one ransomware named WannaCry. It affected numerous hospitals, leading to the, as I've said, cancellation of countless appointments. That was 2017. Now, just recently, last year, an attack on an advanced software provider for the NHS disrupted certain patient services. The biggest data breach came, it was first reported by TechCrunch, the Bats Health Trusts. NHS branch has been claimed, it was claimed by one ransomware group called ALPHV. They are big gang. They originate from Russia. They normally do big hits and they claim responsibility. The cyber crime gang claims to have hacked into BAT's system and stole 70 terabytes of data. Now you can imagine 70 terabytes of patient data, which, if accurate, it's one of the biggest breaches of healthcare data in UK history. Based in London, Bats Health NHS Trust runs 5 hospitals in the city and has more than 2.5 million patients within its system. So you can see the impact already, even before just the fact that they have all this data alone. Personal identifiable information, your private medical records. Samples of the stolen data were seen by TechCrunch include employee identification documents such as passports and driver's licenses, as well as confidential emails. So it is a treasure trove for a criminal organization, because not only can they sell your private health data, they can also use your passport or driving license for other things, other activities, even confidential emails. You may be compromised. Maybe your bank details were shared in those confidential emails. Ramifications can be dangerous. Patients' records are not available, and imagine if that happened to someone in your family as well. They could get compromised. A little less than a year ago, the NHS suffered disruptions after a software outage was caused by a cyber attack that targeted systems that facilitate patient referrals, ambulance bookings, out of hours appointments, and emergency prescriptions. So these are These are the issues that the NHS is facing on a day-to-day basis. So the NHS even is recruiting in-house cybersecurity people to monitor their systems and to give them render assistance other than. So it is now even a problem for the medical facility fraternity. Now the next one I'm going to talk about is this was a former Royal Bank of Scotland worker who blew the whistle on the bank's lax data protection. It is actually not West. And she was a former employee of Royal Bank of Scotland, but she ended up working for NatWest, and to this day she has thousands of sensitive customer data files because NatWest is not willing to take them back. They fear being sued or they'll be liable to pay a big fine. So under her bed, and she is demanding the NatWest group pay for her data controller fee. The whistleblower and NatWest are yet to reach an agreement on the return of 1,600 paper-based customer files to the banks, some of which contain sensitive data of current customers. So the whistleblower, who has the data as a result of a work from home agreement with the bank from over a decade ago, became a data controller when it became clear that the data, which includes the sensitive information of current NatWest customers, would be in her home indefinitely. She wants NatWest to take the documents that they have not been returned because she wants guarantees that no future action by the customers involved will be taken against her. You see, the bank has maintained that it wants the files returned but will not agree to conditions demanded by the whistleblower to protect her from future potential action from the bank's customers. In 2006, the data was sent to the worker's home as part of a work arrangement in breach of data protection rules. You see, the bank got this lady to work from home, but was sending files to her, in not knowing that you cannot send customers' data to an individual in the home. So the worker was given the opportunity to work from home and on the bank's institutions, the bank's instructions, used customer information to help her generate loans and mortgage business from home. Over 3 years, she received thousands of paper documents, about 1,600 of which are still stored in her home to this day. So when the worker became concerned that the agreement could breach data protection rules, she put everything in writing to her manager and inadvertently blew the whistle on the bank's lax data security practices. So the former worker was sacked by the bank in 2009 and has been calling on the bank to collect the files ever since. So this is an ongoing case. That is even before this general data protection regulations came into force. So NatWest it's an interesting case one can look up. NatWest has absconded. I don't. She's still fighting it. Now, that is just an example of the type of issues that have arisen. You see, now nowadays we have the cloud, we have AWS, we have Microsoft Azure. So AWS is Amazon Web Services is the cloud part of Amazon, which is they have a lot of clients, but also AWS has been targeted by many bad actors. But you see, AWS is is a company that outsources. People use their cloud facilities to their cloud services to store their data. But you see, the responsibility is two-way. AWS can only offer security to a certain level, but then the company also has to offer security on its layer. So there have been many cases of breaches, but it always has come about. AWS is lucky that most of the time it is been found out that from the company's side, there has been some kind of breach on their side. So AWS has somehow managed to wriggle. Not the companies have also the responsibility of due care to handle their customers' data on their side where the breaches have been happening. So in July 2019, a major bank and financial services provider called Capital One, we all know Capital One, revealed that a former Amazon employee had hacked its AWS servers. The hack affected over 100 million customers and exposed personally identifiable information like social security numbers, bank account numbers, credit scores, and more. Amazon has been clear that AWS was not at fault and that the underlying cloud services were not compromised. Instead, Capital One admitted that the hacker gained access via misconfigured open source web application firewall. Customers filed a class action lawsuit that Capital One settled. Capital One settled, granting customers as much as £25,000 per claim. Claimants argued Capital One knew of the particular security vulnerabilities that permitted the data breach and didn't fix them. Just like, they all are a bit similar. Like the bank one, they know it, but they feel they feel it will not come up. They choose to ignore it. So Capital One didn't agree or disagree with the suit, instead saying it would settle in the interest of avoiding the time, expense, and uncertainty of continued litigation. So they wisely paid up and said they want to avoid a lengthy litigation and legal issues, which was smart on their side. Now, the U those are just some of the small cases. There are a lot, but I did in this time frame. I didn't want to put too many of them. There is also the UK Metropolitan Police. Well, this I didn't really manage to get much information about this because they didn't want to admit that they had been the magnitude of the breach. It's just that they said they were investigating a massive data breach that leaked the personal information of law enforcement officers and staff, potentially exposing the identity of undercover agents. You know what that means? Somebody who is undercover. If they blow your cover, you may have infiltrated a major criminal gang. That is putting people's lives in danger. So this was very recent and it's very sensitive. It's a very sensitive one. So they are trying not to give as much information as. So the law enforcement agents said that the potential leaks stemmed from unauthorized access to the IT system by a Met supplier. This was a supplier who actually maybe um, breached the system, but it wasn't their internal systems. Because that's what the story is. This was, I didn't want to quote much. It was the son talking about it, but not much information has come out. So these are the issues that I wanted to bring up to your notice, but I have more, and I'll be bringing them up as time goes. But these are just some of the stories I thought would fascinate you. So apart from that, we have the day-to-day things that affect all of us. You have your mobile phone. Your mobile phone is potentially and also something that anyone could breach your personal information. Many of us keep our banking apps on our phones. Many people just only move with their phones and they use them to pay for things with these apps we have like Google Pay, Apple Pay, especially the Android phones, which are not as secure as the iOS system on Apple. We have somebody can send you a text message, like maybe telling you that your TV license is due. Click on this link, and it will take you to pay automatically. You may be absent-minded and having other thoughts on your mind, and click on this link. Then your phone and its contents become open to these people, so they can always do what they want. Before you notice it, you find mysterious things happening with your bank details. If you are good enough to have a bank that monitors, they may call you that did you pay £500 for some designer outlet in London? You said no. You're wondering. I'm at home. These are the things that happen. Then you have your laptops. All of us store a lot of information on our laptops, and you don't even know what you've put there, but there's always something. You may have a bank statement, details, personal information that you may be working in a sensitive government position. In fact, I remember there is a case where it's a very big. It was a very big case. People use it even in law enforcement. There was a security map of London Heathrow Airport. Some worker left was moving with a thumb drive on a laptop, and it got lost. But somehow somebody picked it up and took it to the police. All the airport's internal security systems were on that laptop. So these are the things. You can only do so much to tell people to be very careful, but people human beings are human beings. In some companies nowadays, they even do not allow people to come in with mobile phones, especially depending on how sensitive the the work they are doing. They'll tell you to leave your mobile phone at home. Even and this bring devices like tablets, all those. The company will supply you with what you are going to use at the workplace, and you cannot take it home with you. Or if you have to take it home, it has to have been screened and scanned by the company. You can only use it for company work if you are working from home. So those are some of the personal issues. Even these devices we use to monitor, like the smartwatches, all those are things that can be compromised by these people who make it a habit to go about things. Another thing is when you go to public places, there is what they call free Wi-Fi, which is offered. We all like free things. So when you go like to Weatherspoon and you want to use their free Wi-Fi, there are people. I noticed this before I went deep into cybersecurity. I used to notice, like, I would go to what is that place where we take coffee from all the you can go and take coffee.
What, Starbucks? Coffee?
Yeah, Starbucks. And you find some people just seated on their laptops. They don't seem to be doing anything, but just sitting there doing. Now, some of these people have a guide which can monitor the traffic and look for phones or that they can hack into. And while you're busy, also you're not knowing you're enjoying free Wi-Fi. These people are using that free Wi-Fi to steal your personally identifiable information. So one time I paid particular attention to a person who was seated for a long time. Then he sort of got uncomfortable, packed his laptop and walked out. Said, And then I make the man uncomfortable. I was waiting for my friend. So I said that this guy is not, he's been there for a long time and he's scanning his computer. Maybe that was one of the cyber people who are into cyber crime. So they look for the, especially airports, those kind of places where you find so many different people using free Wi-Fi facilities. So these are the issues of the day that I've tried to put in a nutshell. Wow. Mobile phones, tablets. So that's what some of the things that we try to do to educate people about. Thank you.
Thank you, Frederick. It's a
Mm.
really important subject, you know,
Mm.
just to recap on that. And obviously, if people do watch this out and about, but for ourselves as well, many people don't realize when we signed up to Facebook, Google, Twitter, for example, what they're actually doing with our data. Data is now the biggest commodity above gold.
Yeah,
And
they say that data is the new gold. Yes, that's what.
and this is why there is a black market in it. You know,
Mm.
they were saying last night very similar about, for example, prescription drugs that are being sold online that aren't actually prescription drugs. And from a data perspective, it should be quite easy to be able to take down a website, but then leaving the criminal gangs where you can find from an IP. Because like you're saying, how I imagine that in the Wi-Fi is they're scanning the Wi-Fi for the IP location, you know, as you're going in, if your mobile was like on an unsecure server. You know, it's those type of breaches, you know, and selling from a data protection act, what you're talking about there, you know, I suppose if it was company material on a company laptop, but you're working at home, that would be sufficient, because it's like working at home and running a business. You're not passing data on. It's if she's took files physically without any way of saying it's on here, and then put it in her own system, and then where's it gone?
That's why this
This one was important. I don't know if you guys have heard of that. That was an important one that you brought up, Fred.
Yeah, that one of NatWest.
In Ireland and UK. That is literally somebody just getting paper files.
1,600.
And it's all erupted.
That's why the bank is not, even up to now, has not accepted to take them back.
So data in any format is a good example. That's a good example. It's just not computer as such. You know, data in any format. If it's paper-based, physical format.
Safety protocols.
It's true. And you know, you brought up the daily issues as well. And from an SME point of view, Fred, does that mean, you know, you as a consultant, because you got a lot of experience there, you then would be able to look at an organization, and, you know, like you said, you will be able to actually put some governance in place where a business can benefit, you know, at least have procedures in place where they can protect personal data, any sort of compliance, any sort of, you know, any issues that you foresee, be an update with what happens in the market, and also prepare them to be a resilient organization. So I think that's what you would bring into the organization. Like you said, you know, even in bigger organizations, there's no difference. Even with all these you know, facilities and people around, there's a constant attention and a constant need. So SMEs are, you know, you know, having an experienced person like you would definitely would value that. So thank you. It's a good eye opener, Fred.
Well, at least we now know to send anyone that needs consultation work on their security issues, if that's their issue of the day.
Like NatWest still has an issue with that person they sacked in 2009. Up to now, she has files in her house.
That's what issues of the day.
Yeah, issues.
I'm going to say what we'll do after the meeting, and obviously with it being recorded, is if I'll grab your links and we'll put this pre-recorded video on online, and obviously I can promote your services at the same time with your website for people to refer them if they are wanting some consultation on cybersecurity. Right. So, we'll do that for anybody. Any businesses, any SME, anyone that wants to start a business or anything like that, if they come in and be a guest speaker in the weeks to come, and want to be a guest speaker about their business, their subject, their topic, whatever it is they want to discuss, then I don't mind as an agency within our virtual club using our social media to, backlink and promote that back for yourselves as well. That's part of, what we'll do as a virtual club in Sheffield and beyond, as people start having and hosting their own clubs in the future. All right. And the exciting journey that we're all on, it's very, very interesting. And I think we need reminding, Fred, that we should be all doing good housekeeping, start of the day, end of the day, things like deleting our browsing history.
Oh, even your baby monitor, by the way, the baby monitors. I did the paper.
Yes, don't
baby monitor. The door, those things you put on your door.
Nests, rings.
Yeah. Alexa, you remember Alexa and Google Home.
And Alexa.
Yeah.
Alexa can talk to you. They can eavesdrop. They can eavesdrop through phones even when they're switched off.
And your smartwatch.
There's a lot to look in. There's a lot to look in. And
your TV, like your Samsung TVs. There was somebody found out that they were being eavesdropped by the NSA. Samsung TV sets.
I think NSA has got shares in Comcast and AT&T in America, if I remember right. That's what they do, is they cloak themselves with other organizations in the front.
Yes.
But it's the same in the government. Then they will use what they have that are inside, but have been in the crime.
I was watching a YouTube, and they were saying that the Chinese, the Chinese have come out with this new smartphone, the Mate 60. The Chinese have banned all the government employees from using Apple iPhones, because they say the iPhone has a microphone feature that doesn't go off. It is like it's
permanently recording. It's the same. They are taking photos on Apple. Somebody showed it the other night and said you have to see it under an infrared. You wouldn't see it happening, but the Apple phone is clicking all the time. Your camera's got it.
So the Chinese government say they don't want their workers with iPhones. You should use their Huawei, the one which they have produced at home.
Data, telecoms, I think now and in the future in the cyberspace, is something that we've all got to have some form of awareness of. Otherwise, we're going to become unlucky ourselves. You think about pensioners now, how they can get hacked.
Yes,
so,
because like I was at my mom's place, there are always people ringing. She went on holiday to Scotland to my sister's, so I was at her place for a week, and people were phoning, and you say hello. It seems like they know who to expect. When they hear your voice, they put it down. But even when she's there, she tells me, she always tells them wrong number. That person isn't here. Because they will call
they're looking for the opportunities.
Yes.
They're opportunists. If they can find one that they think they can target.
I used to get, there's a time, there are these calls that used to come, people claiming they are from HMRC, that you owe them money. I got this call, and somebody, he starts talking, and he has all this information about you, and he's telling you this. I would just hang up. They talk so confidently.
Well, you can block the numbers as well, and if you have your own call recording device on your phone, which you can, you can record other people. Same as with your own bank, you can put fraud countermeasures on so that they know, because they'll know whether you're going to a machine because of the IP in the card.
You remember Talk?
You can block them.
You remember Talk? The largest, one of the largest data breaches happened with Talk. I was a customer of Talk, and I was on my desktop like this, at home, And then there's this guy who called me, and he convinced me that there is actually he's trying to help me with the problem. And then he was telling me that you just get your bank details and you log on, and you then I was naive, but then I just decided to just switch off the computer before I could get to the point of clicking. Then he lost everything, but I couldn't log back. I had to get one of my friends to reinstall everything on that desktop.
Yeah, what they're doing is, while they're on the phone sometimes, like, as you all know, they'll be trying to get the access. So
Yes.
as soon as you give them the information, boom, the
Yeah,
spy
and this was Talk. You know, Talk had outsourced, but they got compromised with some hackers from India. So a lot of money was stolen from Talk, but then they somehow managed to brush it under the carpet. It was one of the biggest data breaches that have happened. So at that time, there was a lot of these people calling in that they are working for Talk and whatnot, that they've noticed this and this thing you have not done.
Thank you, Fred, for your interesting conversation. You know, and we'll send your link out, and if anyone is interested in chatting to you and consulting to you, obviously they can contact you through your website, or they can come and meet us in here while you're in here until you obviously start your own club.
Yes.
You know, and have your own virtual club that you'll be able to have people joining. So thank you very much, everyone.
Okay.
Thank you.